Alright. We've not casted in about a week, so let's get into it. Oh, a little bit of startup lag. There we go, all sorted now. Alright, to start us off for game 1 in the first set today, in the blue trunks to kick it off, it's going to be Kel. Up in the top right, in the red trunks, it's going to be on Overgrowth. We're going to have Yummy Blah Blah. Now, Yummy is one of those players, again, really strong for him. Like, his performance has been really good. We're expecting a top 4 finish from him. Absolutely. No one's going to be surprised if he takes that. He's got a few opponents on his way, but we'll see how it goes. And his opponent Kel, I believe this is actually his first tournament. We've not seen him play before. I've met him a little bit in various games and he seems pretty good. But he's going to have a tough fight in his first match here. Going up in single elimination against Yummy to start him off is not an easy challenge at all. So Yummy's going to open up Den first, which is going to give him a little bit of scouting, slightly faster economy if it's one Den expand. And it's a fairly solid opening. On a map this big, I think it's a really good choice. Whereas Kel, he's going for the 1 racks. Now, that's a pretty good opener. Like, that's basically what I do every game. But it's a little bit more defensive. Because Wolves have the speed and the counterattack to keep you pinned back a bit. But obviously, having a barracks out unlocks a little bit more tech a bit faster. As well as also just giving you some more efficient units and setting up a little bit better for that mid to late game. So it looks like Kel's going to go be a little bit annoying here. And just harass Yummy a little bit. And he's going to have to back out pretty quickly, otherwise the Wolf will pick up a tasty treat on the way. And it is going to be Soldier first out of Kel. Alright. So that's an interesting decision, I have to say. I think it's the better decision. Like, when he knows he's up against Den, Soldier's the better decision, just because it's more like it actually trades for the Wolf, as opposed to just getting slaughtered. But with this super wide choke on Overgrowth, it's going to be really difficult to defend. It's not hard at all to just run a Wolf through one of these various holes and get it into the main base, start being annoying, do some damage. So I do prefer Wolves Den on this map. I think it's the better choice here. And Yummy actually scouting for any proxies. But he's just going to safely expand behind this. Wolves Den obviously gives you a slightly better economy than Rax does. Now, yeah, the Soldier's just in hold position here, but I don't think Kel... I'm not really sure what Kel's going for here. Because, right, it's going to attempt to expand behind this, and I get that, that's cute. I guess the Soldier's just there to defend the building worker. But there's nothing really that stops this Wolf from getting into the main base, so it's going to go in already. Kel possibly just going for a standard build, and he's not used to maybe some of the maps in the Season 2 map pool. Because this could do some damage. Yummy's just going to elect actually just to take a quick scout. He's not going to go in for the damage in the main base, not until the second Wolf arrives at least. And behind this, Yummy's actually transferred a bunch of workers over, so I'm not sure what he's doing there. It's not actually very efficient, but he's going to go for it anyway. The Wolves are in now. There's 3 Wolves, which is actually enough to pick up this Soldier at the front. The second Soldier pops out to defend, so Yummy can't take a direct engagement just yet, but he has absolute freedom just to be really annoying. He's actually going to go for this house, and that's actually a nice idea, trying to supply block his opponent a little bit, open up some more breathing room, but he's not got any worker kills just yet. So all in all, his economy's ahead, and that's a nice start. But obviously, once riflemen start popping out, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to harass anything here. And Yummy, surprisingly, I really thought he'd do some damage there, but I guess not. So Kel's just going to be looking to probably just transition into a second Rax pretty soon. Also just a wall off. He's actually going to lose a soldier out the front here. That's a pretty darn big deal. In the background, Yummy's actually going to go for a testing lab. So he's actually going to commit pretty hard into these wolves. He senses an opening and he's going to try and make it work. This rifleman really needs to move. And Yummy's actually going to back off, which actually... So the rifleman does live for now. But riflemen obviously do not trade well at all with wolves. I think they trade about 1-to-1. There you go, so Kel is actually going to go for a 2-base dropship play, which is a build actually you probably saw me streaming earlier. With the exception of, I don't... like this map is a lot harder to defend on. Because you've got this massive open chokes at the front. The dropship might work out okay, but the thing is wolves are really good at just nipping back. They're so fast, they're going to be on top of that defense immediately. And there's not going to be a huge amount that Kel can really do. But again, dropships are pretty new. I can't... It's a bit presumptuous of me to really say anything yet. Of course, for anyone who isn't really aware, this is a weekly tournament. We run one of these every single Saturday, and these points do contribute to your world standings and all that good stuff, including some shiny badges. But tomorrow is the big important one of this week's streaming, because tomorrow is the first qualifier we're actually going to run, and if you turn up for that and you get into the top 2 places, you get a seed in the final tournament where there's $50 to be won, which for just playing some video games is pretty darn sweet. Now Yummy's actually just going to take a 3rd base behind this, which is a move I really like. He knows he's got a nice sort of secure position. He's only really seen 1 barracks, and he's going to have the upgrade lead actually pretty soon. So even with the dropship coming, I like Yummy's position. His wolves are a little bit out of position at the moment, but with 2 wolves then defending, he's going to be in a fantastic spot just to nip out and clean up anything he wants. Now he is actually just going to go straight into dragons after this. It looks like he's basically just going to hold on with wolves to begin with, switch into dragons, and then start actually going in and harassing. And that's going to be really bad for Kel. Dropships rely on using that high ground vision, using the essentially cliffs as walls, and essentially just being annoying, getting to places that the wolves can't. But with the dragon there, you're going to have a nightmare of a time, because dragons can just pick up the dropship immediately. I mean, they're going to force that away. They're going to have high ground vision to any defending units or towers as well. And looks like Kel's just going to transition into a forge with this. He'd like a 3rd base, but it's not going to happen just yet. Yummy's actually doing a fantastic job. If you just watch the mini-map, there's so many wolves out on the map right now, just scouting everything. Kel should be able to drop into the 3rd base and possibly pick up 2 or 3 worker kills. But Yummy's actually got a whole... He knows something's up. He's actually got a whole bunch of units here in position. He's very lucky it isn't dragons though. If this was dragons, he'd be in a little bit of trouble because you can hit with dragons this early. Now Kel's going to land in, he's going to start to deny the 3rd base. Workers are getting pretty hammered in, but Yummy's already on the way, and this attack can obviously just climb back in the dropship, be a little bit annoying, and we'll see how well that works out. There we go, it's going to climb back in the dropship, it's going to go into the natural... Yummy's going to be on his toes here. He's got enough wolves that he can defend this, but only if he's on top of what he's doing. Kel's looking for an opening, but he's not finding it. There's a fort now in the natural base. The tower's going down in the third, which I don't think is actually necessary. I think Yummy's got enough wolves here to actually just deny everything. But that's it. The drop does nothing, and it's sent home. Kel, in the meantime, is trying to his own, and there aren't enough wolves here really to stop it just yet. But Yummy, of course, scouts it immediately, completely on top of his map awareness. Really, really nice. And where's that dropship gone? I've actually lost it. There we go. Okay, so Yummy's actually got a wolf tagged on this dropship, so he knows it's coming into the main base. And there's actually a couple of cute spots here. Actually, if Kel knows what he's doing, he should be able to drop one or two riflemen on that low ground and be a bit annoying. But he's going to try and step forward into the base here. The wolves are in position. They come on in. Kel's going to try and back up towards the cliffs now. He cannot afford to lose anything here. He once again picks up into the dropship. He's actually going to elect to just back out completely, which has got to be a little bit frustrating. He's not really done much damage, and Yummy is... they're actually fairly even on workers. That's actually a little bit surprising. Yummy's got the supply lead, but really Kel's done a fantastic job of just keeping his workers even, but not for long. The wolves here now in on the third base. The riflemen actually going to get picked off pretty quickly here. It's undefended. The workers were pulled to try and deal with this, but there's actually a lot of wolves here. Yummy doesn't reckon he can take it though. He's actually going to back out. It is +1, sorry, 1-1 versus just +1 armor. And Kel is on 3 racks forge now, so he should be in a decent mid to late game. But the issue is he has to make sure he maintains that upgrade, like an upgrade even or advantage with his opponent. He's currently actually 1 down, and he's going to be another 1 down in a second. But the other big thing is he tried to go for drops. Actually, where is that dropship? Where is it? Oh, okay, it's sitting over here on the right hand side. So he's trying to go for drops, but Yummy's just denied it completely. Yummy's actually taking a 4th base over on the far left hand side, sorry. There aren't a great set of options for your 4th base. There we go, Kel's going to go in once again into the main base. There's only 2 wolves here, and these riflemen are in a great position. They're actually going to deflect the initial defense. Yummy's going to have to pull even more to come and defend this. But Kel's got to do damage, and he's got to do it now. He's picking up more riflemen into his dropship. He's going to try and get in closer to this worker line. But now there's a dragon out for Yummy, and that's going to shut this dropship down completely. I mean, the dropping 4 riflemen obviously is good, and they can try and do damage to dragon. Oh, that's actually a great position for Kel actually behind that gold line. The wolves were not taking that out at all. But there we go. The dragon's now going to come in on top of this. The airship's going to start going down. I'm actually surprised the dragon isn't chasing that. There we go, it's going to go chase it now. And they are roughly the same speed, so it should get out. And Kel's actually going to drop the rifleman to try and defend the dropship there. But this is going to make it a lot harder for Kel to really do any damage. Yummy's opening the rocks again, just giving his wolves a little bit more space to maneuver. But right now his wolves, like, neither of them have really succeeded in counterattacking just yet. So Kel's securing up his main. He's actually dropping towers now in his main natural, just to try and sort of deflect any of those dragons. But right now the wolves haven't really managed to do much. The drops again have just been deflected, so both players playing really nice defense here. But the issue is definitely going to be these dragons. We're going to be looking at 1-3 versus only +1 armor still. Kel hasn't grabbed his next upgrade. There's one... Well, he's going to have +2 armor in a second, and then going into +1, +2. But there we go. The big push is now going to come in. There's 2 dragons with this, and they're going to do a lot of damage if they get the opportunity. There's actually a huge amount of soldiers in this mix for Kel. He was clearly gearing up to deal with wolves, and this dragon switch is going to be a pain. His SimCity is actually going to work against him now because he won't be able to get in to these dragons where they're going to come in. The soldiers, though, are going to be a big pain. +2 armor? versus only like 5 damage wolves is going to cut a huge amount of their DPS out. Kel actually going for the tower upgrades to try and deflect these dragons a bit, which I think is a great decision. The extra range on them, if nothing else, is going to be fantastic. And Yummy right now, he's not done a huge amount of damage. He's got 1 kill, 2 kills on these dragons so far. He's trying to pick off the Rifleman actually, which might, if he can get those, he's going to have free reign, which will be amazing for him. He might do it. Now the Riflemen are going to live at the moment, and the tower is being repaired, so all in all he didn't really get any worker kills, which is kind of a shame for him. But there's 4 dragons on the map now, and that's going to be really quite difficult to deal with, simply because they can dip into the main base here, they can deny a 4th, and Yummy is in a fantastic position. He's actually going to go into mages, which is something you often hear me desperately crying out for people to do, but we don't get to see it very much. Oh, is that a new death animation? Sorry, I'm completely distracted, by the way. But the wolves are going to get on top of the Rifleman. There we go. Rifleman getting burnt to a cinder. And Yummy's spacing's pretty good. He manages to do a little bit more damage without taking too many Rifleman shots, which is nice for him. And actually, this third base is pretty exposed. The towers do have the reinforcement now, so they're going to be a lot tougher for dealing against the wolves especially. 4 base armor is going to mean that the wolves don't do anything to that tower. But here we go, the dragons coming in, they're all on top of these soldiers now. They're getting picked off. Yummy's going to be a little bit careful, he's going to go in for it though, and these riflemen are possibly out of position. But this army from Yummy's actually split up. He's going to get those soldiers picked up for free, which is really nice. And now these riflemen are in trouble because without the ground support against these wolves, they're not going to do very much. Yummy's not actually got the best around here. Now we go. Here we go. He pours in onto the third base. The dragons actually spaced out really nicely at the back here. They're only being targeted at these soldiers. The riflemen are cleaning up a lot of these wolves actually. 1-2 riflemen do a lot of work, but these wolves have 5 base armor. I don't even know where he found the time to squeeze that much armor out, but he's doing it. I think that 4th base really did the trick right now, because the riflemen are all getting absolutely destroyed here. There's 5 dragons now. They're cleaning up. The tower's going to do a lot of damage. 18 base attack is huge, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The tower shots are all going on the wolves, which is not where you want them. It's not going to do the job. Wolves are replaceable, dragons are the expensive part, so Kel not managing to handle every component of this attack just yet. The first couple of mages are actually popping out of the main base now, so even after this transition, there we go. Never mind the transition, because Kel says GG, and Yummy will take game 1. This best of 3. We're going to go into the second map in some loading issues, but that's fine. In the top left hand side of King Sejong Station, in the red trunk sits Yummy blah blah. 1 game down. It's his first tournament. Do give it up in the chat for Kel in the blue. So King Sejong, quite a popular map at the moment. Really quite popular. Personally, like, if you watch my stream, you'll see I'm not quite so fond of it at the moment, but it's popular for a reason. Obviously, these back rocks create some interesting gameplay. The third base is accessible, but not too close to counterattacks. But it's going to be pretty interesting. I wonder if Kel's going to go for a 2-base drop again this map. We'll see. Yummy's going to his staple build of the 1 den expand. So not too unusual out of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he... yeah, so I'm not going to be surprised if he does anything other than just go for exactly the same build. It's going to work at taking a bit of an odd route, so maybe. We have seen Yummy do some interesting nonsense before. And he is dancing, so yeah, it looks like he's going to be going for a 1 den 1 racks, and planning to just clean up the second game very, very quickly here and move on to the next round. Kel's going for his standard defensive barracks. Bit of an odd positioning. I prefer it, obviously, myself in the front choke. A little bit more defensive, prevents any wolf run-bys. And there we go. Yummy is gonna go all out. He's gonna put a lot of pressure on his opponent. It's not all in. Not as much as Turax is, because you still have enough gold income to get workers to expand. But obviously it's a bit of a commitment. You want to do a lot of damage with this. The first wolf is already on the way. Kel actually just hasn't scouted. And I think that greedy play is gonna be the cost of his life in this tournament. Because without scouting, obviously you don't know what's coming. And with a base this open, he's gonna really struggle to defend this. There's no way he's gonna scout this in time. He's actually going to go for the expansion and try and hold it off that way, but he's actually skipping his first unit. There we go, it starts up now, but the first wolf is already here. The barracks for Yummy is already done, and I think Kel's in trouble here. He's not set up for the defense here, he doesn't know this is coming. The wolf is already doing a little bit of damage. He's got to be careful not to lose this. He's just being a little bit annoying before the next one arrives. Once you have 2 or 3, you can start to do some damage, but obviously before that you've got to be a little bit careful. Wolves, they're annoying, but they are a little bit fragile, and against workers it doesn't always go too well. Now we go, here we go, the second wolf is in, so they can start to play tag. Kel actually not adopting, he's actually going to try and wall off with workers, and this soldier's going to see what it can do, but it's so slow. It's just not going to do enough yet. He had to go for the soldier though. If you went for the rifleman, that dies immediately. There's nothing that rifleman can do. Yummy's actually going to wait a little bit before going in with this. He's just putting on the pretense that it's wolf pressure for now. And this is a lot more than normal wolf pressure could do. There we go, the first worker goes down. Yummy's actually going to lose. Oh, he does actually lose a wolf in the main, so that's a pretty big deal to start with. He's actually going to go for a really aggressive forward tower, so nice little mix up with this cheese. And the soldier comes in to defend it, but it's not fast enough. The wolf is going to pick it up. The rifleman is already going to go down at the front. The workers come in to block. They are actually enough to block, so they are going to keep this rifleman safe in the back. And these 2 wolves are going to go down, so that's a really important part of this hold here for Kel. Picking up 2 wolves there is so important. He picks up a 3rd wolf, the soldier goes down. One more wolf is going to clean up this rifleman in the back. And Yummy did manage to keep his worker alive, so the tower could still potentially go up. Yummy's going to try and take off the rifleman in the back. It's going to be difficult though. It looks like the rifleman should go down before the workers clean it up. Yes, there we go. Okay, trades 1 for 1. That's a pretty good trade for Yummy. That's only 8. That's 40 gold for 80 gold's worth. The worker actually isn't carrying any gold, so it can just slide its way under there with a little bit of micro. And now Yummy's in a fantastic position. The riflemen here actually even have a choke point, so the workers aren't going to be able to do much. Kel pops out a 2nd rifleman to try and hold this. And he might pick up a like the wolf at the front. But once again, he keeps the worker alive. He's slowly getting his tower a little bit more constructed. And looks like he's actually going to lose another worker for his trouble. The soldier actually popping out from Yummy, which is a really... I love that decision. Such a good decision. Trades so efficiently with workers, unlike the rifleman. And Kel right now is down 3 workers, which doesn't sound like much, but when you only have 10 to begin with, it's huge. There we go, 1 more worker goes down. The soldier actually gets picked off. So Kel doing a good job here. He's still got 2 riflemen left alive, but actually, there we go, another one gets picked off. The worker at the front here is pretty weak. The tower's actually going up. Kel should get the denial. Yeah, there we go, he gets the denial of the tower. That won't go up for a little while yet. But now it's 3 riflemen versus 1. 4 workers. Kel says GG, and Yummy takes a 4-minute game. And will go very swiftly up into the next round. So, very nice to see.